Hello students, how are you all? I hope you're doing good. So today we are back again with the part 6 of chapter 5. So till our previous session, what did we see? We have seen what exactly was the peripheral nervous system and how it consists of both the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. So we have the three different types of nervous systems doing separate functions in our body. So we have seen the central nervous system, which constitutes the brain and the spinal cord. We have seen the peripheral nervous system, which contains the spinal nerves as well as the cranial nerves. All these nerves arise from the brain and the spinal cord respectively. So today we are moving forward and discussing the one more type of nervous system present in our body, that is the autonomic nervous system or the ANS. Okay, we call it as also ANS. So we have discussed about what is CNS. We have seen what is the peripheral nervous system. Now we are discussing about the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so when we are discussing about the autonomic nervous system, we should know how are the nerves arising, okay, from where is their origin, and how are they helping in performing various activities of our body. So we have seen that the central nervous system constitutes the brain and spinal cord, the peripheral nervous system constitutes the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves, whereas the autonomic nervous system controls all the involuntary actions of your body. What do you understand by the word involuntary? So we have seen in the previous class that our body is controlling and coordinating various actions, let it be voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary means what? It is under the control of your brain. For example, now you are speaking or you are doing any action. So it is directly under the control of your brain. Means what? All the actions you are performing are given by your brain. For example, touching of an hot pan. It is under the control of your brain. It is a voluntary action performed. So whenever the motor signals are reaching your skin receptors, it is telling not to touch the hot pan. So it is a voluntary action and you are pulling back your hand. What do you mean by involuntary actions which are not under the control of your brain? They happen in a normal life process. Okay. For example, you have contraction and expansion of pupil, circulation and digestion. So let us see how the autonomic nervous system is controlling all the involuntary actions of your body and what are the nerves involved in such process. Okay, so we have told that the autonomic nervous system is controlling the involuntary actions of our body. So involuntary means, as I have told you, all the actions which are not under the control of your brain. For example, contraction of your pupil in your eye and expansion of the pupil and the iris. So whenever you go into dark room, you see that your pupil will start contracting because there is no light. In your class 9 sense organs, you might have read about the structure of eye, and we have seen that the light will pass through the eye from a very important black hole like thing called as pupil, which will contract and expand depending on the light intensity. So whenever you move into a dark room, you see that the pupil will contract, that is, it will contract itself. Why? Because there is dim light conditions, but even then you are able to view the objects present in dark. So that contraction and expansion of the pupil is directed involuntarily by your autonomic nervous system. So all the nerves which are connected to your eye, mainly your optic nerve, will control that involuntary action without your knowing. You cannot control, you cannot tell your pupil to contract only when it needs to be contracted. So that is an involuntary action happening. Then the autonomic nervous system also control all the involuntary actions such as contraction and expansion of pupil, circulation. So the process of circulation in your body, pumping of your heart, okay, and circulation of blood throughout your body is not at all controlled. It will be happening throughout 24 hours and throughout your lifespan. So circulation, digestion, excretion, all these are the involuntary actions which are not under the control of your brain, but they are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. That is, they are initiated by the autonomic nervous system. So always remember, ANS or the autonomic nervous system is involved in controlling the involuntary actions of your body such as contraction and expansion of pupil, circulation, digestion, etc. And the main important function of autonomic nervous system is to maintain homeostasis. So you are coming through a new word, What do you mean by homeostasis? It is nothing but maintaining the internal body temperature. So what do you understand by homeostasis? You have a proper body temperature, yes or no? For example, if you have got a fever, your temperature will raise, yes or no? So how is that body temperature maintained? It is maintained by your autonomic nervous system, which is involuntarily controlling your body temperature, and that process is called as homeostasis. So the maintaining of internal body temperature of a human being is nothing but homeostasis, and it is directly under the control of what? It is involuntarily maintained by the control of which system in your body? Autonomic nervous system. Are you clear till here? Now the ANS has two divisions. First one is the sympathetic division and second one is the parasympathetic nerves. Okay, sympathetic division and parasympathetic division. For example, we have divided CNS into brain and spinal cord. It includes brain and spinal cord. Similarly, autonomic nervous system includes the sympathetic nerves and the parasympathetic nerves. So what do you mean by sympathetic nerves? So we have seen the structure of brain. Yes children, so this is your brain. You have the spinal cord which is arising from the brain, that is particularly the medulla oblongata. So we have the two systems, sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. So what do you mean by sympathetic nerves? Nerves which come from the thoracic and lumbar regions. So what do you understand by thoracic? So exactly from your pharynx till your lumbar region. So when you turn back, you see that your spinal cord will run till your hip. So what is the lumbar region? It is nothing but the area till your hip is nothing but the lumbar region. So what do you understand by the nerves arising from the thoracic and lumbar regions? Exactly this, because this is your brain. You will have the cranial nerves arising from here and the thoracic nerves will start from here. So all the nerves arising from your thoracic region and the lumbar region together will constitute the sympathetic nervous system. So all the nerves arising from your thoracic as well as the lumbar regions of your body will constitute the sympathetic nervous system. So how are these nerves arising? They have particular ganglia present there. So these ganglia will help in containing all your nerves together, okay, protecting all your internal body organs together. Okay, so all the nerves from the thoracic region and the lumbar region together constitute the sympathetic nervous system. Are you clear? So all these nerves will get connected to your internal organs, such as, for example, from the thoracic region you will have special nerves which together form and at a starting called ganglia. So what do you mean by ganglia? It is a point from where several nerves arise together and they go and they stick to one organ, like that is they form one organ. So for example, your stomach. So the muscular movements in your stomach are controlled by which type of nerve? Autonomic nervous system. So all the process of digestions, etc. are controlled by such autonomic nervous systems. To be very precise, the sympathetic nerves arising from your thoracic as well as your lumbar regions. Then what do you mean by parasympathetic nerves? The nerves that arise from the medulla oblongata and the spinal cord. So other than from the thoracic and lumbar regions, these nerves arising from the medulla oblongata, okay, and the spinal cord, okay, in between these are called as the parasympathetic nervous system. So nerves arising from medulla oblongata as the spinal cord are called as the parasympathetic nervous systems, that is the nerves. So we have divided the autonomic nervous system into two types, sympathetic and parasympathetic. All the nerves arising from the thoracic and lumbar regions are called as sympathetic nerves, which connect to your internal organs and control their movements involuntarily, and all the nerves arising from the medulla oblongata and the other parts of spinal cord constitute the parasympathetic nervous system. Are you clear? So this is all about the autonomic nervous system. Now let us see one important thing which the autonomic nervous system is doing, that is the story of insulin. So we know that people take insulin injections, yes or no, because the production of insulin in their body is very less or low. So they take insulin injections which will help them to get the proper insulin count in their body. If there is no proper insulin count in their body, they will be prone to a disease or a deficiency of blood sugar level called as diabetes or sugar. So what is insulin, what is the story of insulin, and how is autonomic nervous system involuntarily controlling such actions, we will know now. Okay, now just write down the heading as story of insulin. Okay, so we have seen the autonomic nervous system, which is involuntarily controlling all the actions of your body. Now the next topic which we are discussing is coordination without nerves. So we have seen that the sympathetic, parasympathetic, which constitute the autonomic nervous system, along with the PNS and CNS, have different types of nerves arising from your brain and your spinal cord, which are controlling the voluntary actions as well as the involuntary actions of your body. But in your body there can be coordination happening without the nerves also. So we are going to read about the story of insulin, where how is this insulin produced in your body and how is it maintained and coordinated even without the inclusion of nerves. So what do you mean by insulin? As I have told you, insulin, you see that people who have diabetes take insulin. Why do they prefer taking insulin, students? Because the production of insulin in their body is very low, due to which the glucose levels in their body will become low in their blood, and finally it will lead to a diabetes or a disease called as sugar. So how was this proved that insulin is controlled in your body without the coordination of nerves? So the production of insulin in your body is not involving any nerves. It will happen automatically without any coordination with the nerves. So let us see how. So the story of insulin. So in 1868, Paul Langerhans, he was a professor in pathology in Freiburg University, Germany. So he was the main person who found out the function of insulin and where is it produced without the involvement of nerves. So we know that there is pancreas in our digestive system, and the pancreas is responsible for producing pancreatic juice. So we know all this, that the pancreatic juice will help in the process of digestion. So other than this scientist, that is Paul Langerhans, he found out that the pancreas is an organ in which there are tiny cells which are floating like islands, and he named these tiny cells as islets of Langerhans. What did he name them? He named them as islets of Langerhans. So it is not only the production of pancreatic juice, but also there are tiny cells which are called as the islets of Langerhans, which will help in the controlling of sugar levels. So let us see what did he do. So Paul Langerhans saw that there are few cells floating in the pancreas like islands. So you see that islands float in water. Similarly, there were tiny cells, they were floating, and he named them as islets of Langerhans. So when he saw that the duct arising from this, so we know that there is a duct arising from the pancreas. So when this duct was tied, okay, so this duct will lead into the duodenum, which is a part of the intestine. Okay, so this will lead into the intestine. So the between part, the duct of the pancreatic body was tied. The pancreatic duct was tied, that is between the duodenum, and he saw that the production of insulin was stopped and the person developed diabetes. So when this duct was tied up, okay, Paul Langerhans saw that the person developed a disease called diabetes. So from this observation, he confirmed that the islets of Langerhans, the islets were responsible for production of insulin. Okay, so these islets were helpful in production of insulin, which maintained the blood sugar levels. So if this pancreas was removed, what will happen? Automatically the person developed diabetes, because these islets were responsible for production of insulin and maintaining the balance of glucose in our blood. So once you remove this duct or this gland from your body, what will happen, children? You will develop a disease called diabetes, in which the insulin level is reduced because these islet cells automatically will be removed. But later, Banting, Best and MacLeod, so these three scientists, proved this, that it is really helping a person to maintain the sugar levels or the diabetes levels. So Banting, Best and MacLeod, these three scientists were responsible to prove they have taken or they have extracted insulin and they have put it in a dog who does not have a pancreas. So what did these three do? They have experimented to see that yes, exactly, the islets are producing insulin. This should be confirmed. So what did they do? They have extracted insulin from a animal whose pancreas was died. They extracted the insulin and they have put it into a dog whose pancreas was removed. So when they have put it, they have seen that the dog had normal glucose levels or the insulin production was normal and did not develop any diabetes or blood sugar level. So from these all, what do we understand? We understand that even without nerves, the first point you should understand is that even without nerves, the insulin levels and the blood glucose levels are directly controlled. And how are they controlled? With the help of islets of Langerhans cells which are present in your pancreas. So if these islet cells are absent or if their production will be less or if your pancreas is removed, what will happen? These islet cells also will be isolated and finally you will start developing diabetes. Insulin levels will go down. So this is how he proved that even without the nerves we can coordinate certain functions of our body. So this is all about the story of insulin, that is coordination without nerves. Are you clear? So this is all about the autonomic nervous system, how they are controlling the involuntary actions, and the second topic which we have seen, that is the coordination without nerves and the story of insulin. So these two topics are very important. I hope you all have written down the important points. In our next classes we will be moving forward. Until then, please take out your textbooks, underline each and every point which we have read, and your homework for today is you need to write about CNS, PNS and ANS clearly in your notebooks and get back to our next class and just give a reading to the story of insulin. Okay, in our next classes we will be moving forward with other chemical coordinators in our body. Until then, thank you.